Self-esteem is why you're afraid to post content in video format on social media. It is not perfectionism. It is not fear of making mistakes. You're afraid of the judgment that is inevitably going to take place. That is inevitably going to take place because you posted content on social media in video format. You now showed up on camera. Now you're liable to criticism and judgment on a whole new level compared to written content. People are gonna judge you and criticize you for a gazillion other reasons on top of the reasons that they could ever criticize you when it comes to written content. When you do video content or show up on camera or speak on stage or speak in public, regardless. They are not just judging your performance. They are not just judging your content. They are judging whatever they can see. And now they can see everything. So everything will show up. When you speak on stage, when you speak on camera, when you post content in video format, everything will be under criticism. Everything will be judged. Everything you say can and will be used against you. You will be judged and criticized on a whole new level that negatively impacts your self-esteem if your self-esteem already isn't established enough before you post that type of content, before you show up and speak. That is different because written content, when it comes to written content, all you care about is flawless quality. The content itself is well written. There are no mistakes. And it is well delivered. And, this is exactly what I wanted to say. This is exactly what I had in mind. The content itself is true and representative of my views and what I think in the best way humanly possible. And that's it. There's no judgment for the person behind that content. You are just criticizing and judging what's being said, not the person who's saying it, as long as the content remains purely in written form. You published a book, you've written an article, you posted some text post on any social media platform, you posted some sort of text post on any social media platform, LinkedIn or whatever, and that's it. You're judged for your words. You're not judged as a person. Now, if you have any insecurities, they will show up on camera, and even if they didn't show up on camera, the fact that I showed up while having those insecurities subjects me to having my self-esteem crushed and devastated and destroyed just because I have those insecurities, even if they did not show up on camera this time. It's like, how dare you show up and speak when you have those insecurities? You know the truth about you. They don't know it, but you know it. So the second you show up and speak on camera, on stage, and those insecurities are inside of you and they are true about you, your self-esteem will just keep getting lower. Okay, you have to understand this. Like, even if people are super positive in the comment section, no one is criticizing you, no one is attacking you, no one hates you, you got nothing but positivity all day long when it comes to your content. Everybody loves you. But I am insecure about myself. But before I started showing up and posting, especially video content, I did not care about those insecurities. I never tried to clear them. I never tried to purify them. I never tried to, heal from them. I did not try to do anything about them, to make them go away. I did not try to deal with them because they were not a problem. Life was just fine. But they were just stuck at the bottom of yourself. When you post video, those insecurities show up not because people are seeing them now, because your subconscious or unconscious is going to betray you and expose you on social media and make everybody see the truth about you. People see you for who you really are. No, it's not because your unconscious or subconscious is going to show the others or show everybody or expose you whenever you show up and make everybody notice those insecurities. The problem is that you know those insecurities exist. You know the truth about you. And that is the problem. Since you know you suck, you think you don't deserve to do what you're doing, to show up on camera and speak. Because who the fuck are you? Like, who are you? And you don't deserve to show up. You don't deserve to be at that level. You don't deserve to do that shit. You have to hide in shame. That is what you deserve. So showing up exposes your mind to your insecurities and makes you become aware of how bad you really are. Not in, man, I am not supposed to feel bad about myself. I am good enough, so I should do something about my shame. No, it shows you that you're bad, period. And since I am bad, I'm not allowed to show up. So video content is different. When you write, I could be bad, but my content is fine. My book is a New York Times bestseller. Everybody loves it. Everybody bought it, and everybody read it. And it's very popular. It's doing amazing. Everybody's doing awesome reviews about it. Every podcast on the face of the earth is talking about it positively, and everybody's happy with it. But they don't know the person behind that book or that written content. They don't know it. So as long as the content is of high quality and flawless, no one gives a shit. No one cares who you really are. But when you're going to show up and speak, you're more vulnerable. And your subconscious tries to protect you. And since you have a ton of insecurities, your subconscious panics because you are exposing us to danger. Because what if people finds out the truth about us? And there's a gazillion things that are bad about us that if people saw or noticed or realized about you, they will give you all the reasons in the world to have the lowest self-esteem humanly possible. You will be dragged to the bottom of the dominance hierarchy by noticing the truth about you. Because everybody can see the truth about you when you expose yourself to the danger of being judged for who you are by showing up as who you are in front of people, whether that's on camera, on video, or on stage. You are putting us in the danger of getting exposed. It's like sitting in front of the cops and they interrogate you for 12 hours. They are bound to find something about you. Like your secrets could be spilled. You're drunk and you can say stuff about yourself that you're not supposed to say when you're sober. You are in a position or in a situation where you can get exposed for who you really are. And since you have a ton of insecurities, a ton of bad stuff about you, a ton of flaws, a ton of problems that you haven't dealt with, a ton of reasons why you suck, a ton of reasons that prove to the whole world the lack of competence that you really have, the lack of anything positive. And if people saw that, that will be a reason for crushing your self-esteem. So what is the best course of action in this case? Is to hide, is to never post. And that's why you procrastinate and never post video. You will hide behind written content anonymously and nobody will know who you are. Because the second I show up, maybe people will not find out this time. But maybe they could. Maybe in 2 years, maybe the video number 512 will expose me. Because someone is bound to see it at some point. If I suck, some human being on the face of the earth is bound to see it at some point in the future. I will get exposed sooner or later. And since I have a ton of stuff that I don't want to ever get exposed, me putting myself in the position where I could get, exposed is danger. So I need to hide from that. I need to not do that to protect myself. It's survival. It's protection. I have a lot to hide. And I'm right about that because all of that stuff is garbage and is bad and is true about me. I really suck. I cannot hide that. So the second I show up on camera and post a video about it, or show up on stage, or publicly speak, or host events, or show up on a podcast, any podcast, speak in front of others, just the human being himself is speaking, not just written content, but video content, I am putting myself at risk of getting exposed. And since I'm a piece of shit, since I am bad, since I really suck, since I have a ton of flaws, but I thought I was good enough, it's okay, accept yourself with your flaws. But since I have a ton of flaws, I could get exposed, even if I could also not get exposed. Like, it happened. You might pass by and fly under the radar and no one would notice. But how much pressure? How much pressure are you dealing with? How much of skill and consciousness and focus do you have to exercise all the time to hide all the stuff that you're insecure about? To hide your shame, the stuff that you're right to have shame about. The stuff that you're right to feel shame because of. The stuff that really sucks about you. The stuff that is really bad about you. How much of an effort will you spend all the time when you're a public person, showing up always? How much of an effort and focus will you spend just to hide that and keep it a secret? This is like Heisenberg hiding from his, from the other guy, the DEA that was family. How much pressure it takes to stay a good person when one slip, one mistake could mean, like it's over for you. And people are merciless on social media. So you have to understand, like, I always, written the best of content in, text format. I crushed it. I write the best articles. I have written 7 New York Times, but I have showed up on camera, and I feel like there's an elephant sitting on my head. Every time I speak, it's because you're under pressure. Because deep down you suck and you don't deserve it. You have to understand that you're afraid that the possibility of you getting exposed is creating pressure, and that's making you suck on camera. So you have to clear the stuff that you're insecure about and work on yourself and your competence and your abilities until you literally become perfect and flawless. There is no alternative. You have to fix yourself. You have to no longer suck, so that you no longer have a reason to have low self-esteem. That is all on top of my performance sucks. Yeah, but you posted like 7 videos. Of course it will suck. You have to post like 500 videos until you start seeing a difference. Because you have to have a self and a personality. What they say, I have a voice when it comes to writing. You need to have the thing that, is corresponding to that when it comes to video. You need to have your own voice. You need to have your own character. You need to have your own personality. Not everybody who's badass, who speaks on camera, will sound like Andrew Tate. You're not going to become like this. You need to build character. You need to become a flawless human being, and then you will not suck on camera. It's easy, but you think it is just energy. I need to sleep, I need to rest, I need to optimize my energy, I need to eat well, I need to stay hydrated. I'm dehydrated as we speak, but I don't care. And the performance is flawless. Couldn't have been better. It's character. It's who you are. That is what's showing up on camera. As long as you're proud and you think, man, I'm really proud of this, it's flawless, I don't care what other people will think in this case. But adopting a mindset of I don't care what they think, so I'm gonna, act like shit and have the most garbage content ever because I don't care what other people think. It's not that you will not just get no views. It's deep down you'll think, man, I feel like my self-esteem is getting lower the more I post. Yes, because you are just showing the whole world how much of a garbage human you are. Like how much of a worthless, piece of shit you are. You are showing the world the truth about you. But I can have a job and hide from the world and nobody will notice how much I suck. So I'll keep my 9 to 5. And then that will sound like the right course of action. But aren't you betraying your highest calling, your core values, what you truly care about, what's most important to you, and what matters to you? Aren't you giving up and disowning the parts of you that wants those things and your desires and your needs? You're disowning them and hating the parts of you that want those needs to be creative, to be who you are, to express yourself to the fullest at the highest level. Aren't you doing all of that? That will backfire. You will not hide in shame and keep your 9 to 5 and then have your self-esteem intact. It is not getting crushed. It is, intact, but still low. But nothing serious is happening to it suddenly. Everything. But when you suddenly post and it sucks, I feel bad. I want you to understand that this is the reason why you feel bad after you post. People think, oh man, the anxiety is inescapable. The depression, despite, being a millionaire, it never goes away. Yes, because you suck. You know you suck. And since you post, you expose yourself to the masses, and then your unconscious knows that we are now vulnerable. So, do we know that we suck? Yes. And now we're exposed to the masses, and we're vulnerable, and now we are in danger of getting exposed for who we really are, how much we really suck. So there's panic and fear and stress and actual low self-esteem because everybody will realize how bad I am So I will feel low self-esteem from the start before getting the criticism. Because maybe people see it and they are too polite to say anything. They are nice people. They're afraid of getting banned. Like, whatever it is, you have no evidence that since you got all comments positive, that everybody loves you. No, they might see the truth about it. So since you know the truth about you, you know that every single human being on the face of the earth, if they saw that, they will realize how much you are worthy of having low self-esteem. Nothing about you is really good. Everything about you sucks. You will have good reason to have low self-esteem. So since you're exposing us to that, we try to hide from this. This is dangerous. And now we are at the potential of getting a ton of criticism and a ton of judgment that could actually lower our self-esteem even if we're flawless. So you have the potential of getting hate comments from really mentally ill people, even if there's nothing wrong with you. You will get that. You're exposing yourself to getting that type of comments for who you are now because you're showing up on video. But before that, people just, like had a different opinion when it comes to comments on your text. But on video, they might criticize you for other reasons, not for just the content of what you're saying. So you're exposing yourself to more criticism and judgment. So that criticism and judgment, since now you're liable to have or to get or to receive more criticism and judgment because you're on video and camera now, you will be afraid of all of that because that can crush your self-esteem even further, even if there's nothing wrong with you. Like the potential of getting your self-esteem crushed on video is more than just posting text, content. And that is why you procrastinate. You're afraid of all of this. And you never talked with yourself about it. You just think like, man, I'm procrastinating because, life is hard. I'm tired from my job. I came back from my job and I'm dead. I want to sleep. No, it's not energy. It is bigger than that. If it were just to energy, why are you wasting your peak energy gaming? Why are you wasting your peak energy binging on Netflix or whatever the bullshit that you watch? Why are you spending hours on end doing stuff that really requires maximum brain power and energy humanly possible? Because nothing is going to happen to you when you do those things with your energy. You have an abundance of energy, but there is no self-esteem risk. There is no crushing of your self-esteem risk that takes place when you watch TV for 8 hours. Your self-esteem will never be threatened. Yeah, I have low energy after work. I understand. But look at the times where you had peak energy, but you still procrastinated. It is deeper than that. It is not just, I'm tired, I'm going to rest. Work on your self-esteem issues. And then you will notice that you cannot contain yourself anymore and you just want to post on video and on camera and speak on stage like there's no tomorrow. No one will be able to stop you in this case because you have flawless self-esteem and you don't care what anybody else thinks and you really are competent enough. You're not afraid of criticism. And you are prepared for criticism because you know it's inevitable despite you having nothing to worry about, despite the fact that there is nothing wrong with you and it all has nothing to do with you. The solution, post a ton of video until your performance becomes high quality enough for you to never worry about getting criticized because your performance sucks. Because maybe your content in written form is perfect, but when it comes to how you perform on camera, that sucks. And you will get criticized for this, even if you're the most genius writer who ever lived. But you will suck on camera. Work on that by practicing more and posting more on video and speaking more on camera and on stage and publicly. Just post more videos. And then the problem will go away because your performance is now way better than it was ever in the past. Since your performance is better, now you're no longer afraid of sucking on camera because of bad quality performance, because you have no experience or past history performing well on camera. You need to train on how to speak on camera. That needs to develop. You need to grow. And that only happens through hours of posting, hours of filming. You need the practice and you need to the growth that happens from always speaking on camera and not being afraid of the judgment. You have to practice that. and then your performance will improve. But the most important thing is working on your self-esteem issues, and that's why you feel low self-esteem after posting, because of all the stuff that I explained. You will always feel extreme self-loathing after posting. You need to purge your insecurities. You need to work on your self-esteem. And then you will no longer procrastinate when it comes to, posting videos on social media or anything that requires you to show up and get exposed publicly. Public speaking, speaking on stage, anything. Because there is nothing wrong with you, and you deep down, you know that there is nothing wrong with you, and you're flawless, and you're perfect, and all of that, for a human being. And so you will never have low self-esteem issues whatsoever because of posting video wherever you want to post it.